Mark, what came out today was, let me make sure I read it right. Mark Stoops said Kentucky has 18 players and 10 staff members out due to COVID, and that's injuries as well. So it's combining all that, but that still hits your roster number that you got to have to play a game. So whether it be injuries and COVID, you have to combine it all. And so Kentucky was only missing 10 players, COVID injury related last week against Alabama. Jumped that up 8 more to 18 now for Florida. So, there's definitely some discussions behind the scenes of can they play this game. So as of Wednesday night, no decision's been made yet. And that's when we're recording this. But we'll say it's definitely being discussed behind the scenes. We'll see where it shakes out. Mark, and that raises a lot of questions. If Florida can't play Kentucky this week, that leaves 3 games that were on the schedule left to play in 2 weeks. It'd be Kentucky, Tennessee, and LSU. 2 of those are division games. Kentucky, Tennessee, I would think those take precedent and just deciding who tries to win the East. You already have a win over Georgia. If you go undefeated the rest of the way in the East, I would assume you're probably SEC East champ. So I would think the East games, the division games, would take precedent over Florida playing LSU. But I'm sure there's a lot of this is the chain reaction. You got to figure out how this affects other teams as well when you're trying to schedule so many games in a short window. So we'll have to see how everything lines up now if Florida and Kentucky can't play on Saturday.
Yeah, I would think that the SEC would prioritize, of course, like you just said, the division games and also games that affect the championship race. Of course, those all involve Florida. Also, the Big Ten announced at the unveiling of its schedule that there would have to be a minimum number of games played to qualify for the conference championship game. Does the SEC, have they held to any specific standard there?
I don't think so, Mark. It may be out there. I don't have that memorized. If there is a limited number of games, I don't remember that part. And I know just because they had scheduled so far in advance and pretty much had planned on something like this happening. Of course, there was an original bye week built in for teams, and then they gave that December 12th date as a makeup date as well. So they kind of had two windows there. So I don't remember offhand, but I don't think they even put that out there as far as a minimum number of games having to be played.
And even if there is, I would think that Florida's right in that range. Again, I'm going to go back to the Big Ten model. They've scheduled 8 games. It's really 9 with championship weekend and everybody playing that weekend. So 9 games, and Wisconsin is in jeopardy, but they need a minimum of 5. So if you liken that ratio to what's going on in the SEC, Florida's played 7 games, right? They're 6-1.
Right. Yeah. And, played 7 games. You have to imagine they'll at least play one more. Like puts them at 8 out of 10. Go by winning percentage at that point, probably.
Yeah, it's 18 players and 10 staff members. So it's actually 28 total. So going into the game against Alabama last week, there were 10 players who, they just, UK just said they were out for various reasons, but let's face it, we pretty much know what it was. It was 4 starters. Most notably was Chris Rodriguez, their Kentucky's leading rusher, Jamin Davis, leading tackler. Of course, went into Alabama, and the less we say about that game, the better. I made the comment afterwards that we should all just get the Men in Black. If you remember the Men in Black movie, the little flashy thing, and just go and just forget that game ever happened. But anyway, Coach Stoops, when he addressed the media today, said that there were 18 players who were unavailable, for lack of a better term, and 10 staff members. So they get tested again tomorrow, and then they're supposed to get on the plane Friday morning to head to Gainesville. So depending on what happens with that test, the game, if there are many more players that test positive, then I'd say there's a good chance that the game doesn't happen. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. So, but yeah, Kentucky has been lucky this whole season. Had not had any real COVID issues until this past week, and then now it's jumped up and kind of bit them in a big way. So as I said, we'll see. They'll do testing tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens after that about the status of the game.